Hello everyone, I'm Priya Teli. In previous video, we covered student registration form for placement management system and the program for same we seen in the previous video. In today's video, we are going to see TPO, that is Training and Placement Officer registration form for the placement management system. This is the program for the same. But first of all, I would like to remind again that we need to download the MySQL connector jar file, and it should be imported inside the library section of your project. So let me show you once again. Just you have to type MySQL connector /j jar file. And just go for download. So now let us see how our form looks. This is how our form looks for TPO registration. Is TPO will have to insert or fill in the details, and here we have user ID, name, email, branch. TPO will be from a specific branch. Then college name, password, confirm password. And these buttons are there: home, save, company details, and update. Here company details button takes the TPO to the company details registration form. This button is only accessible to TPO. He only can fill in the details of company or specific companies. Also, here we have this save button to insert the details to the database. Then we have home button to go back to the home page. And this is the update button in case we want to update any previously inserted data. So let's see the program. Um, Let me show you how you insert your MySQL jar file in the library section. You have to double click on this library, right click on this library button. Here we have option add jar folder. So select from where you have downloaded this MySQL connector. I am not going to do it again as I have already done it. So let's see the program. Here these four things are need to be imported as we have seen in the previous student registration form. That is java.x.spring.star, java.awt.event.star, java.awt.star, and java.sql.star. The star means all the classes from this package are imported. So we have our class here TPO details, which implements the action listener interface. Similarly, as like in previous student details form we have done, that is we have used all the Swing components like JFrame, JLabel, JText field, JCombo box, JPassword field, and JButton. We have created objects for all these. For JLabel, these all email label, user label, name label, branch label, all these are the objects of these components. Now we have taken here a string array named branch. In this we have given these branch names in a comma separated way, and we are going to provide this branch string array to the JCombo box because we have here a combo box which consists of these branches, and we can select only one at a time. So for this purpose we have taken this array which we will pass as an argument to the JCombo box. Now we have this constructor. In this we are going to call these four methods which we have made for our simplicity. We have four different methods. Say suppose for creating window, create window method, set location and size to set location and size of these components, add components to the frame, and action event. All these are the user defined methods and not predefined. So we have defined these methods here. This is the implementation for creative window method. Here we are first of all we have created this object named frame of jframe. So whenever we call this frame is equal to new jframe, uh, this new frame will be created, and inside that we have set the title to our frame, that is TPO details form. These are, as we have discussed before, that three important methods we use here for frame, that are set bounds, set layout, and set visible. So, using set bounds method, we set the size of our frame, which is, we can see here, 1000 by 900. So this is x coordinate, this is y coordinate, this is width, and this is height. Then we have set background method, so that frame dot get content pane dot set background, we have set it to white background color. Then we have frame dot get content pane dot set layout method. It takes argument like the type, that is, in our case we have taken null, but default one is border layout. Else there are many different layouts like grid layout, border layout, etc. Then at the end we set the visibility of the frame as true, else our frame components will not be visible. So this method is important, frame dot set visible true. Then we have this set default close operation inside that jframe dot exit on close, so that we could close our form. And if we doesn't use this method, then you will not be able to close the form though you click on this many times. Then we have frame dot resizable, set resizable as false. If we write here true, then this maximize button will be enabled. Right now it is disabled because we have used false here. Then we have set location and size method. Here we have the implementation of that. Here we set the location and size of our all the components. These are all objects of our components, that is title, user id label, user id text field. All these are arranged in a sequence as per we see here. First label, then text field for that, then name, then text field for that. In this way we have arranged it properly. And these are the this is the we all, for all these components we have used these three things, that is set bounds to set their location and size, set background color, and set font. So this, as I said before, this is x, this is y, this is width, and this is height. So as per that, and we are able to see that the x coordinates of all these label, text field, all these have a same x coordinate. Only the y coordinate is changing for all these components. So the font which we have used is Cambria, and the type is font dot center baseline. You can use your bold, italic, or anything else. And the size we have used is 18, and for that purpose we use set font method. Now we do the same thing for all the components, for buttons also, but in this case we have not used this method, set background method, for button. So you can see the default color for these buttons. Then we have add component to the frame method. If we just only define the location and size, but we don't add this component to the frame, then it will not be visible, it will not appear on the frame. So we need to add those components to the frame after setting the location and size. So for that, simply we have to do frame dot add title, all these components names, whatever their names are, and this frame is the frame object. Then we have action event method. In this we add action listeners to the buttons or the text fields as per our requirement. So in this case we only want action listeners for the buttons, so that when we click on the button there must occur some action, there must be some event. So for that purpose we have add action listener method, and inside that we use this keyword, and this keyword only can be written if the components in which we have defined and in which we are adding this add action listener method, that particular class should implement action listener interface, else we cannot write this keyword inside add action listener method. as we are having all these methods inside the same class which implements the action listener interface. That's why we can write here this keyword. Now we have action perform method. This is from action event class, which and we have created the object for the same in this. Now we have a getSource method. If e.getSource is equal to save button, it means we define here what will happen if user clicks save button. Then we what we are going to do when user clicks save button, we have to save all the details to the database. So for that purpose we need to we need to write the code for JDBC. So all this type of code is a critical code. That's why we write inside the try catch block. So for that purpose, as we have discussed before, we do the same all those things. We create we have used connection interface, driver manager interface, prepared statement interface. So we use what is the difference between prepared statement and the statement interface. So the main difference is whenever we are inserting some parameterized value to the database, or we are going to perform some queries which are parameterized queries, as we don't know the values which we are inserting because those are taken from the text field. So these are the parameterized values which we are inserting. So in that case we use prepare segment, or else we can say whenever we want to insert many details, or we have to use a particular for many queries, and we use this prepared statement, else we use the statement interface. So here we have used prepared statement interface, and we have created this object name con1 for the connection interface, and we have the driver manager dot get connection. Dot get connection method is used to establish the connection to specific database. So we have this specific URL. Just you have to change here is your database name. In my case it is reg, and this is the port number, this is the host name. So if you in case you have different port number for MySQL, then you can change it here, else mostly it is 3306. Now here username is root, and the password field will be empty if you are using XAMPP control panel, as like what I have done. Then we have created this prepared statement object, that is p statement, and we call this prepared statement method on the connection object, and we pass here query. So in our case our query will be insert into TPO details. I am having the table name TPO details. So you will have to start these both servers and go to the admin here. So you'll be directed to the PHP my admin page. Here I am having this TPO details table. So whatever details will be inserted to this TPO details table values, and these question marks will be equal to the number of fields inside that table. No extra question mark is required here. Only that much question marks are necessary, else it will create an error. Then you have to maintain the sequence in which you are inserting these values. It should be same as if as per your table, like suppose in this TPO details table you have these columns. If you doesn't maintain the sequence in which you are inserting, then email will be inserted into branch section, and branch will be inserted to email section. So the sequence is mandatory here in which you are inserting. It will be inserted as per the sequence only. Then and for that we use set string method. P statement is the object of prepared statement. P statement dot set string, and inside that we have one comma, and we are fetching the particular text from text field. So user id text field dot get text. For that purpose we have used get text method. Then we have taken all those values from text field into some string variables, and we are check here we check whether those fields are filled or not. If they are equal to this empty braces, that is if they are empty, then this message should be displayed, that is user id is missing. And for that purpose, to appear to show that dialog box, we use joption dot show message dialog method here. Then we have used also we check for the password, that whether the password and confirm password matches. If doesn't, then this message is displayed that password doesn't match. Then we have used here statement. Statement object is stmt, and we have called this create statement method on connection object. Then this is the query, that is select everything from TPO details. So why we are calling this why we are executing this query? To check whether the particular user id which is being registered, whether it is registered before. For that purpose we are first of all checking into the TPO details table. So we have this result set object that is rs, and we have called it on stmt object stmt.execute query to execute this above query. And after executing, this acts like a cursor where it traverses through rows of the table. So for that purpose we use while loop, and we have the method rs.next to iterate through the table uh, row by row. Then inside this, what we are going to do is uh, we are going to compare this user id which is inserted into text field with the user id from the uh, table, that is from user id column. So to get the value of that column, we are using this rs.getString, and here only the column name should be specified which exists in the table. As I am having this user id and password as the column name, so I have used same here inside the quotes, and whatever that will be taken into these string variables, and then we compare this with the those entered into the text fields. For that we have taken those in prn and pass string variable, and if they appear to be similar, then we print the message that user id already exists. And if doesn't exist, then we are going to insert it to the database, and the message will be displayed user registered successfully. And if it is to be inserted first time, then we are simply, and that is if the table is empty, that is rs.next is not present, that is not rs.next, then we are going to simply execute this query, and also the same message will be displayed, that is user registered successfully. Then this is the exception, this is to handle the exception, that is event.print stack trace it. If in case any error sql exception occurs, then whatever the info related to that will be printed to the console. So we have then if e dot get source is equal to update button, we hand we specified the event for the save button. Now for the update button, in case user want to update the previously registered data, then in that case we have to use update query for that. So else everything is same, that is performing connection to the database. Then we have created again the statement object, and we have this query, that is select everything from TPO details. And what we are going to simply here do, what we are going to do here simply is, we have this update query, that is update TPO details, set name username is equal to question mark, similarly other columns is equal to question mark, where user id is question mark, that is we are going to update details as based on the user id. So with the help of user ID, so what from where we are taking this user ID, the user ID which is inserted into that particular text field, and for that user ID we are updating other details. So user ID should be correct, and the sequence is as per that. For name, first one is username, so first sequence is given to first the string from the name text field is fetched, then from email, then from branch. As per this we have to manage the sequence, maintain the sequence, and at the last we have used this user id text field, where because we have used here where user id is equal to question mark at the end. So this need to be take care. uh, then after that we execute this query with the help of this execute update method, and then this message will be displayed, that is data updated successfully. Then if in case user doesn't feel anything and go for update button, then this message will be displayed, that is enter details fields are empty. And this is the code for handling the exception, that is ex.print stack trace. We have created here object for exception. If we can mention here specific exception, like here in case here can occur sql exception. If we don't know, then we can simply write exception, and the object for we have to create the object for that. Then if e.getSource is equal to home button, if user clicks on the home button, then he should be directed to the home page. So for that we have created the object for home class, and then frame.setVisible first, that this form should disappear and that only that page should be visible. So for that case we have used frame.setVisible first, so that this frame will be disappeared and that frame will be visible. Then if e.getSource is equal to com button, that is company details button, so in that case user should be taken to the company details form. So we have created the object for the same company details, c is equal to new company details, and then again frame.setVisible false. Then we have this main class. Here we have our main method, and from this main method we call our, or we create object for our this above class, that is TPO details class. Then the program will run as, because the constructor TPO details constructor will be called, and we have all the methods, we are calling all these methods from constructor itself, so the program will run. This is how it happens. So let's check by inserting the details. So suppose user ID is 222, and the name is, now we will click on save button to save these details. So we need to just click on save. So the message will appear, dialog box will appear, user registered successfully. Then if in case I want to go to the company details to fill the form, so we have to go to the company details. As if I want to update the details, so say suppose I want to change the branch, and I have to set it to CSIT, and now I want to update. So I'm clicking on update button. So it says, first of all it will say that user ID already exists, then it will say data updated successfully. In this way it happens. Now if I'm going to home, if I click on home button, then it will take me to the home page. So let's see how it happens, and the first frame will disappear in this way. And another one more thing is, if I click on the company details button, then it will take me to the company details form, and the previous frame will disappear. So program for this we will see in the next video. So, and when we click on this close button, it will get closed. In this way it happens. That's all. Thank you. If you like my video, please like it and subscribe my channel. uh, Till then, thank you.